Good morning, Master and the Sangha team from Hualien and all brothers and sisters from Tzu Chi. My name is Yu Chan and I'm very glad to have this opportunity to create this good affinity with everyone here today. Firstly, I have to thank Sister Sing Ting who asked me to do this sharing. I must admit I was initially very apprehensive and unsure of what to share because I know that there are so many others who have done much more than I have in promoting vegetarianism. However, I also think that everyone has their own journey in becoming a vegetarian and would probably share some similarities as well as differences in terms of how the choice is made and the challenges faced in making this choice. There are also many different ways we are promoting vegetarianism in our communities, and these various ways also pose various kinds of challenges. Thus today, I will be sharing about my personal veggie journey. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So let's start with just a little background about myself. As Brother Robert has mentioned, I used to travel at least once a year, that's before COVID. But I don't like to go shopping or visiting all those Instagram-worthy spots or even looking for tasty food. For me, my journey is only focused on hiking. So I feel like my veggie journey is somewhat like a hiking trip. So let us all start the hike together now. Okay. Okay, so I come from a family where my grandmother actually, and my mother are both long-term vegetarian. So when I was young, each time my mom cooks meat or fish, I will take a really long time to finish my meal. I love vegetables and I really dislike meat and fish. So to be honest, I can't really remember why I dislike meat and fish last time when I was young. But I think children have this pure nature to perceive the world. And perhaps in my past lives, I have been vegetarian before. So ironically, my mother did not allow me to convert to vegetarianism, even when I requested to do so when I was young, because she felt that I will not get enough nutrition. So to any one of you feel surprised by this? She is vegetarian, yet she felt that it was not a nutritious diet. So indeed, this is a common misconception amongst many people. Since I could not change my mother's mind, I slowly forgot about it. And as I grew up, I got caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, and eating meat and fish become a habit, become a part of life. Maybe some of you might feel that the efficiencies of the adult mind sometimes blinds us to the moment, like an AI system. We experience something and we just use past experience to decide how to act in a certain way, sometimes acting out of compulsion rather than in a deliberate manner. So eating meat and seafood became just like an automatic reflex action. There was no thinking about why I eat what I eat. So eating steamboat, barbecue, buffets with my friends and colleagues and my spouse became an essential part of my social life. Even in my working life, lunch meetings were a common thing. Then in 2019, things started to change. I got off the bus after work and bumped into Tzu Chi's auspicious month event near my home. I saw the event from a distance and came closer to take a look. And Brother Rongshan came to talk to me and found out that I was interested in environmental protection. So he asked if I would like to come and volunteer at the recycling point. So I agreed and left my number. Brother Rongshan and Sister Yu Ping, they invited me to Tzu Chi's Star Eye Gallery and shared with me the history of Tzu Chi. I greatly admire the guiding principles of our master, Cheng Yan, and the missions of Tzu Chi. And so I decided to join as a volunteer. So master is like the map that's guiding me towards the right way. So right in year 2019 at the year-end blessing ceremony, So I participated in the musical adaptation of the 12 Quick Vows of Medicine Buddha finale in the volunteer session, where we used sign language to portray the sutra. So during the group practice, we were informed that we have to be vegetarian for the duration until the ceremony is over. So at that point of time, there was no resistance in my mind at all. It was like rediscovering my original childhood wish to go veg. So around this period of time, I also watched a YouTube video from one of the YouTubers from Taiwan who focused mainly on social and environmental issues. So he was sharing about this documentary video he made for Discovery Channel, and it was about the killing of pigs for worship. The owner gave food to the first pig who ate it readily, and then he slaughtered the pig right in front of another pig. So the second pig, who saw the whole process, was defecating and urinating when it saw what was happening. When the owner finished with the first one and wanted to feed the second pig, it just refused to open its mouth. So this was, when I watched it, it was immensely sad, shocking, and unsettling for me. So many questions started to flood my mind. If everyone gets to see how an animal is killed for food, would they still want to eat meat? These animals, clearly they have intelligence and they have emotions just like us. So how are we superior to them that we can just treat their lives so carelessly? So why is it that we treat some as pets while we are so cruel to others? And why do we need to eat meat? So all these questions came into my mind. From young, I've always loved animals, and my favorite place to visit in Singapore is the zoo. So, or even the nature reserves where I will always try to spot wildlife. And I always wanted a pet when I was young, but my mom does not allow it. So I was so desperate that when my mom encountered a worm when washing vegetables, I kept that worm as my pet for almost a week before I let it go in the grass patch outside. So I also like to pick up snails and put them off the path after rain. So I was thinking, if I have the capacity to love a snail and a worm, then how can I not control my desires to eat meat? So as Buddha advocates, all beings are equal and have the same Buddha nature. We cannot be selective when showing compassion and should control our desires. So our desires for food is the cause of the loss of more than 2,556 lives every second as I talk now. So moreover, this is a diet choice that is best for our environment. So lesser water resources used, lesser land resources used, and also a lower carbon footprint, which contributes to lesser greenhouse gases. So it is a much simpler and more sustainable way of living, which can mitigate global warming. So as human beings, we have harvested so much natural resources from the earth. But what have we to give back? As Master says, everything from protecting the earth to doing good for mankind begins with ourselves. To change the world, we have to start with ourselves. So it didn't take me long to decide that I was not going back to a life of meat eating. So right after the year-end blessing, I told my spouse that I'm going to continue to be a vegetarian. So for us, like going for a barbecue or a steamboat or buffet used to be a significant part of our couple time. So he did not take it very easily. I had to endure a period of resistance from my spouse. We didn't speak to each other except for essential things for close to 2 months. I didn't know how to convince him, but I know that I'm not going to change my stance. So it was like a battle of perseverance. So finally, one day we decided that that we have to talk it out lah. So he shared his views and I shared mine. And finally, he told me that he could not understand my need to go veg, but he could empathize with it and accept it because of love. And I also told him that I don't expect him to change his diet for me. I'm still willing to go out with him and eat with him at non-vegetarian places even, as long as there are vegetarian options. So finally, our Cold War ended. It was a huge relief for me. So I was so grateful to him, and I'm still very grateful to him for always letting me have my way, even as I come to Lumbini for 2 months now. Yeah. So this shows that love triumphs. And of course, when we want to do something that we know is right, we must persevere. But just persevering is not enough. We must also employ wisdom. I learned that I need to communicate and seek understanding. Only then it can be sustainable in the long run. So now that I have overcome the first hurdle, it's time for the real test. So what is the real test? Yes, it's to promote vegetarianism to others. So with COVID in the picture, Master's call to everyone to advocate a vegetarian diet becomes more urgent. Our brothers and sisters in the community are also eager to answer to this call and do something. So when our Sealy group leader, Sister Shu Guo, sent out a message to ask for volunteers to be part of the vegetarian promoting team, I replied her very quickly to say that I'm willing to help out. I didn't even consider how hard it was going to be, but I just had the simple thought to do the right thing and help in the right cause. So at the initial stage, I just helped to look for like easy vegetarian recipe videos and videos about the benefits of eating plant foods and post them on our WhatsApp group chat consisting of all our Sealy brothers and sisters. But that was rather passive. So we took inspiration from our brothers and sisters from Tima. They wore the t-shirts advocating vegetarianism and made a video of themselves performing the sign language song, One More Candle to the Light. So our Sealy brothers and sisters, we also wore the t-shirt, I love animals, I don't eat meat. And then we had it in different colors. So it was a very interesting thing to see us walking down the street. So we actually wear it to the nature park in our neighborhood and we practice the sign language to the song. And we also did park cleanup by picking up litter. So I enjoyed the sessions very much, as this was what I used to do on weekend mornings with my family. I like the sense of togetherness and everyone just coming together to master the sign language. However, the efficiency of this method to promote vegetarianism is not very high. So there were some people who were curious about what we were doing. So we would have the opportunity to share with them. But majority of the people just went about their own business. So we also do not know if they saw our t-shirts and the message that it carried. So we needed a more direct way to spread the message. But a more direct way also means more contact with the public. So Master teaches us that to practice Buddhism, we should not just focus on our own self-cultivation and benefit ourselves only, but we should try to spread the Dharma to benefit others. So similarly, for promoting vegetarianism, we cannot just adopt this diet and reap the benefits ourselves only. We need to share this knowledge to more people and awaken them to this diet choice that is both beneficial for all living things, including ourselves, and for the environment. So our team decided to encourage everyone to order and try a tasty vegetarian bento for 10 days. The menu will be varied over the 10 days, and this concept is actually similar to the Healthier Me 21 Days Challenge. Our team members work with the restaurant for the style of cooking that we require. So we ask them to provide no processed mock meats, and the portion of the grains, proteins, and vegetables is in accordance with the quarter, half principle. So quarter grain, quarter proteins, and half vegetables and fruits. So our main aim, right, through this program is to let the good taste and the health benefits speak for itself at the end of the 10 days. So we also hope that 10 days will be a little easier for everyone to accept and be willing to try out. So we started off visiting the shop houses in the neighborhood, and we went from one store to another store to seek out participants. So for me, I'm generally quite shy to talk to strangers. So this was a real challenge for me. And moreover, when talking about food, many people have already their preconceived notions that vegetarian food means the usual fried bee-hoon with some mock char siu and cabbage. So it was not easy to persuade them to pay for 10 days of food that they are so doubtful about. So we tried to mitigate this by showing them pictures of bentos with a variety of food colors that look appealing, appetizing, and interesting, and share with them the benefits of plant-based food with no processed foods. So we also shared with them that it's good for the environment and also a good opportunity for them to collectively do good by not harming animals. So initially, I would depend on other sisters to do the introduction of the program, and I just help with the recording of the particulars. So after a period of observing how our leaders share about the program, slowly I mastered my courage to try sharing it with the members of the public. So it was really great that we always have the support of our senior commissioners, as they were always there to help when I sometimes get tongue-tied or when I get a negative response and I don't know how to move on from there. So even if sometimes the members of the public reject to try the plant-based meals, our senior commissioners never fail to encourage them to do good in other ways, such as by adopting the bamboo bank and share with them about the origins of Tzu Chi's charity mission. So my most memorable moment was when we were doing this door knocking at the market near my house, where I managed to recruit 2 donors with the help of Sister Mei. Ever since then, I've been visiting the 2 of my regular donors monthly, and we have become friends. And I always tell them I'm looking forward to the day that I can bring them to participate as volunteers in Tzu Chi's activities. So besides, it was not all roses. There were days when we met with many rejections, and it really affected our morale. So the picture on the left was from a morning where we faced with so many rejections and had not managed to garner a single participant. We decided to take a break and have our rice dumpling. And then we started encouraging ourselves and saying positive words to each other. So now that we look back, it was very memorable experience, and I was glad that none of us ever thought of giving up. I think what sustained us was the firm belief that what we are doing is the right thing. So for this program, we managed to garner the support of 68 participants, ordering 757 sets of bentos, with 27 volunteers and volunteer drivers to help with the collection of the bentos from the restaurant and to issue the bentos at the distribution points or sending them to the shops, as some shop owners are not able to leave their shops to go to the collection points. So our sisters in charge of planning the distribution actually went down with COVID on the first day, and she lost her voice, but she still persisted in making sure that the collection and delivery process went smoothly. She's actually the first lady on the left. Yeah. So she also had to endure some unpleasant words from her participants when the meal arrived later than she had expected. But this is her story, so I will not go into the details. Maybe all of you will have a chance to listen from her in future. So as Master says, nothing is impossible with confidence, perseverance, and courage. So I think through just this program alone, I managed to master my courage and confidence, and every one of us persevered. Yeah. So we were very heartened by the positive responses from some of the participants. There was also a Mr. Guan who consumes meat very regularly. In Chinese, we say 不肉不欢. So it's like every meal must have meat. But he shared with us that at the end of the 10 days, he said that he never knew that vegetarian meal can be so suitable for his palate. And there was a lady boss from a furniture shop who ordered 1 set for herself, and she called up on the first day and requested for 1 additional set for her family member for all subsequent days. She even wished that the program can continue beyond the 10 days and was interested to learn how to cook for her family in this way. So we were very encouraged by the positive responses from the participants and volunteers who helped with the delivery, that we ran this program for another 2 rounds in year 2022. And I also took up the role of coordination for sending of food for the 2nd round. As my working hours are from noon time, so I had the time to actually go to the restaurant and sort out the bentos before going for work. So an interesting thing that happened was that we realized that the bentos were ready earlier and earlier as the days went by. And then we realized that it was because we were always there early to do the sorting. The restaurants start preparing the food earlier and earlier. So it was this moment that I realized that sometimes we perceive ourselves to be efficient by trying to go early and get things done, but we might be unknowingly creating stress for others. So I learned not to rush and have trust that in all our brothers and sisters who come to help that we can definitely finish packing on time. So I'm very grateful to all the brothers and sisters who come and help out, rain or shine, and also for teaching and guiding me to be more considerate to the sisters who are not so computer or mobile phone savvy and whose eyesight are not as good. Because when I send out the delivery or distribution list, I always do it via soft copy on the phone. Yeah. So I was also very grateful to my mom who came to help. She's the lady in pink on the right side. Yeah. And she even independently sent the bentos for one of the locations on one of the days where we were slightly short of volunteers. So I'm so happy to have her with me. Yeah. So besides this healthy plant-based meal program, I also took up another challenge of being the South Zone coordinator for the Humanistic Youth Center Zero Market booth space for promoting vegetarianism. Okay, sounds like a huge mouthful. So basically, we have this booth space at the HYC, we call Humanistic Youth Center, and it's on Saturdays. And my work actually requires me to work on Saturdays. So I had to arrange like my off days carefully to coincide with the event. And the other challenge was to attract people to the booth. So my first thought was to use cute farm animal portraits because of the theme of love for animals is very close to my heart. So, and I wanted a more lasting type of paint material, so I decided on using acrylic paint and using the cardboard pieces that our sister helped collect from her workplace. So it was quite challenging as it was my first time using this paint medium. I think the will to do something is really something very powerful. And Master teaches us that with good intentions come blessings, with the will comes the strength. So once I put my mind to it and focused wholeheartedly on this, I managed to complete a portrait of a cow and the pig in a single afternoon. So from this picture, okay, you can see there's a baby lamb, there's a goose, and then there's a pig. Yeah, those are the ones that I did with acrylic paint. Yeah. So besides this, I also shared another idea with my team, something that popped up in my mind, which is using Zentangle art. So I drew the outline of an animal and then added lines to break up the image into several smaller parts. And then we got the members of the public to draw in repeating shapes or lines into each of the parts. So the idea is that everyone just draw a small little part, but every individual effort is important in the completion of the whole drawing. It is just like how our individual choice of diet may seem like it's very small, but every person is just as important to bring about change. So we are fortunate to be able to choose. So we want to implore everyone to use their wallet and their mouth to create positive change. So with lesser demand, farmers will gradually reduce their supply as well. So these are the creations by the members of public, and some are children and some are adults. So besides this, we also use this healthy food plate. So it's like this, we made this cardboard circle thing with the quarter, half portions. And then we had like pictures of the fruits and vegetables and grains and proteins. And then we had the members of public identify which kind of food goes into which part and how their usual diet choice, whether is it a healthy portion or not. Yeah, so it was quite fun and interactive for the public. So after a few sessions, the Zentangle art became completed. So I felt that it was real pity if we just keep it in storage. But then if we just display it as it is, it will not have the same kind of meaning. So we wanted something that is more interactive. So I thought of changing it to a jigsaw puzzle by cutting the parts into smaller parts. I think I got over enthusiastic and cut the parts a little too small. My dad was the first person to experiment with the puzzle, and he found it challenging. So I had to add in the puzzle cutout lines in the background to enable the members of public to visualize the pieces more easily. So just like in hiking, I sometimes can do with extra motivation to push myself to go faster. Sometimes it's friends that I meet along the way up the mountain. Just like in Tzu Chi, it's great that we managed to garner support from our brothers and sisters in the community to come and help with the promotion of vegetarianism. More people means more power. Yes, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. And it's a great feeling to know that you are not alone in Tzu Chi. Yeah. So when I do hiking in remote regions, it is important to engage a guide. That way we can work with people who are familiar with the routes to work out together how to cross some difficult parts. So it's something like an internal collaboration. So one day I received a call from Sister Phoebe. She had heard that I had done paintings for the Vege promotion booth space, and she asked if I could draw or paint some kind of art poster to show the effects of meat industry on the environment for an exhibition during the Auspicious Month event held at HYC. So I agreed, but I didn't know what she wanted. So I asked her for some kind of direction or inspiration. So she sent me a picture of the impact of meat production on water usage and carbon emissions. So I was like, okay, a poster would be quite passive. So we needed something more engaging. So I combined a memory game with the information on the poster to form our own unique memory game. So the participants have to flip the cards to match the animals, but at the same time, the animal card will also show the amount of water resources required to produce 1 kilo of each type of meat. So we also used this game for an event on the 15th of October last year at the Zero Market Super Veggie Super Fun big event at HYC, showcasing various types of vegetarian food. Let me just share with everyone an interesting story that happened during this event. So before the start of the event, when we were setting up, we discovered that we lost one of the pieces and we could not find it at all. So the only way was to find a piece of cardboard and draw another one on the spot. So you can see on the picture on the left, on the extreme left, there is a pig, the picture of a little pig behind the bars. So this one is not the original one. So it was the one that was done up last minute. So the amazing thing is one of the sisters actually had crayons in her car and she passed it to me immediately on that day morning. So I took it and draw this little pig, and we continue to use this game for the rest of the event. So I thought that we had lost the original little pig for good and gave up looking for it already. So at the beginning of this year, 2023, a few members of our Veggie promotion team had the opportunity, the opportunity to go to Hualien, and we hope to show our Veggie promotion tools to master. So I went to HYC storeroom to get the stuff out, and amazingly, the original little pig was just sitting there on one of the shelves in the storeroom. So finally, it's reunited. So I actually don't have the picture of the original little pig now. Yeah. So, but it's with me. Yeah. So another way we promote vegetarianism was in Tzu Chi's senior engagement and enabling note. We use 净师 products for cooking demonstrations and encourage the elders to try cooking easy vegetarian meals for themselves. I always say that I'm more of a hindrance than a help in the kitchen. So having a wonderful team where everyone has different strengths is very important. I really can't cook and it's quite clumsy in the kitchen. So I'm glad that I can still contribute to the effort by performing the role of MC while the experienced home chefs can do the real cooking. So besides collaborating internally, sometimes we also have to cooperate with other agencies. It's just like sometimes on busier mountains during climbing season, we have to cooperate with other hikers. So in this case, we did an exhibition at the Residence Committee opening event in our neighborhood. So the grassroots advisor was very supportive of our efforts in environmental protection and vegetarianism, and he appreciates how these two go hand in hand. So we were very happy to know that he is also vegetarian. So we hope that with his support, we can do more activities at the Residence Committee to promote vegetarianism as well. So following this event, we managed to also organize another event to share benefits of plant-based diet to residents from another residents committee in the neighborhood. So this one is actually located right next to our recycling point. Yeah, so we also invited one of our sisters who is a nutritionist to share like how to eat healthily, even though you can go veg. Yeah, and she made it very easy for the residents to understand about how whole food plant-based diet is the way to go for a healthier and better quality of life in our later years. So as it was close to Lunar New Year, we also did a food prep demo for vegetarian Yusheng. I think our sisters and brothers from the Asian region, like Malaysia and Singapore, we are very familiar with Yusheng. Basically, it's like a kind of a salad. Then we toss it up, and the higher you toss, it's supposed to be better for your luck and all. So traditionally, Yusheng uses raw fish, but in this case, it's a pure fruit and veg Yusheng. Yeah. So yeah, and the residents really enjoyed. I think that they enjoy the eating a lot as well. So yeah. So come to my hopes and dreams. I really hope that more people will take up a vegetarian diet in Singapore for the sake of a healthier aging population, and also to do less harm to the environment. So we always say that Singapore is a very blessed country, as we do not have any natural disasters. And I totally agree with that. I feel so blessed to be born here. But however, with peace and stability comes wealth and prosperity. More and more people are becoming indulgent and wasteful. So this creates bad individual as well as collective karma. So the ignorance of such behavior will blind us to the truth. So we need to eat to sustain life, yes. But do we need to sustain our lives at the expense of other living beings? So that's no. So we need to respect that all living beings also wish to stay alive. So next, as human beings, we depend so much on our Earth's resources, from water to gas to coal to oil to various types of metals for our chips and electronic devices. So as an inhabitant of Earth, it's our duty and mission to take care of our planet. So have we thought of giving something back? If the concept of giving back to Earth seems too distant and remote, how about thinking from the angle of giving our future generations a healthier Earth? So lastly, I would like to end my sharing with a Jingsi aphorism. Okay, to end the disasters of the world, we must improve the human mind. It is only when we are mindful of our thinking and our actions that we will not be clouded by delusions. So with a basic respect for the lives of all living things and a sustainable diet to reduce the burden on our Earth, we can all do our part to mitigate disasters. So we have come to the end of my sharing. Thank you everyone for lending me your ears today. It's really my pleasure to be able to create this great affinity with everyone. Thank you.